I'm Elisa and I am the Scrappy Wife behind scrappywife.com, and today I have a Bible journaling process video for you. I am working through the Psalms, Making It Personal devotional from By the Well for God, and I am on day 9, which has us looking at Psalm 37 and reflecting on how we can delight in God. And I'm really excited to work. I have really been loving this devotional, been loving working in this illuminated scripture journal, and can't wait to share a flip through when I am all done. But I am in Psalm 37, and you can see the illuminated scripture journal has some drawings in it that you can color, which are a great jumping off point. For me and for my style, I would prefer it to be completely blank. So I will be using some of the papers that you can get to coordinate with the kit and some stamps and different things to work around this and to cover it up. So I'll make sure to link everything that I end up using down below. I believe the Psalms devotional is out of stock, but if it is back in stock, I will make sure to link it and any stamps and things like that that I use. Otherwise, I'm going to put you all on fast forward. Let's go. This has got to be my favorite paper pack that By the Well for God has done. I am just in love with all of these papers. And I took my inspiration for this page actually from one of the papers that I have been hoarding, which is a rainbow paper. And I'm sorry that I don't show it right here at the beginning, but you'll see it later. But it's these beautiful rainbows with the navy blue and the sky blue and the corally pink color. And so I want to kind of recreate that feel. And so I'm using just an old, this is actually, let me think, this is like a We Are Memory Keepers, or I forget what brand this cutting circle is, but it's something I just had in my stash, great for tracing circles in this case. And I'm creating this little corner rainbow. So I'm trying to decide if I'm going to use the inner or outer part. And I'm going to just keep using the outer part, and I'm tracing through 4 of the sheets of paper, making a pattern with the dark blue and then the pink corals. This is representing my lighter blue, and then I'm going to use the backside of that other pink, which is this darker color, and I'm going to use that as the very inner part of this rainbow and place those all on top of each other to just create this cool effect, because to me nothing says delight more than beautiful rainbows. They are totally my thing, and if we're going to talk about delighting in the Lord, it's going to be filled with rainbows for me. So you can see I'm just matting these together. I'm using just a little bit of adhesive because I'm going to take it over to my sewing machine and add some different stitch marks. It's hard to see right there, but I did some zigzag stitch marks. I love that the strings are hanging off of it. I am loving string on all of my entries. You can see it that I'm just going string crazy. The texture is just speaking to me. I love using my sewing machine on paper, and I love the effect that it gives. So all the strings all the time is what I'm going for. So something else By the Well for God has been doing are these really large background stamps, and this one is called Patterns of Faith. Love it. I'm inking it up with some of the tattered rose ink, and as a background stamp, I'm not going for a perfect image. I am going just to add a little bit of color coming out from the rainbow. You can see that the stamping isn't perfect, and I'm just overlapping it using 2nd and 3rd generation stamps just to get a different kind of effect, and I just kind of want it floating out from the rainbow is the idea. So you can see I'm placing the rainbow on top to see if I need to redo part of it. I want a little bit more definition up at the top, and this is serving it well to cover up the pre-printed image that is in this illuminated scripture Bible. The images that are in here are really nice. They just don't really fit my style of journaling, so I tend to cover them up. The other stamp that I am loving this time are these line drawing stamps, and they are called Cry Out, and they are single line drawings of people in prayer, people crying out to God, people in reflection, and I have loved them this month. They are definitely going to be a staple in my journaling just because I think they capture so well a lot of the emotions that we have. So I'm using 3 of these stamps. They're going to be kind of coming out from behind the rainbow, and actually that middle stamp I ended up stamping a little bit lower than I intended, and so the face is covered up with where I was originally going to put the rainbow. So I actually end up shifting it ever so slightly because I do want to see the eye on that person. So I'm going to shift it down ever so slightly and then just trim off the extra rainbow paper. And then that turns out to be a happy accident, because as I trim it off, I notice, oh my goodness, are these not the cutest little strips of paper with all the layering, and you can still see the sewing on it. I think that is perfect for where I will be able to add my journaling on this page. I typed up my journaling on my typewriter on some separate paper, and then I'm going to just adhere it onto these strips. And the challenge that we've been given throughout this entire devotional is to write some lines of our own psalm as we cover the emotions, cover the different ways that the Psalms reach out to God and celebrate God. We've been encouraged to write our own. So the lines that I added to my psalm today read as follows. There are times I'm overwhelmed with joy, delighting in your presence felt so close. And it was just a reflection on the delight that David was feeling and the delight that we feel in those moments where you just feel that God is right there. And I've had a few of those in my life. One of those being when I gave birth to my twin boys, and I remember being rolled down to the surgical room because that's where you give birth to twins, and just knowing, just having this feeling of calm that God was right there. And I love that feeling when you just know he's showing up, and it means the world. And that's the delight that David was feeling when he danced freely. And that's one of my favorite passages in the Bible, reading about David dancing and celebrating God. And so it's just a reflection on that delight that we can feel. So this is now the third stamp set that I'm reaching for. This is the one that comes with the kit. It has a few music notes in it, and I'm just using those to kind of connect the two. So I felt like my journaling felt a little bit disconnected from my rainbow. So I started out with the dark Chip Sapphire, and then I went to the lighter Stormy Sky, and then Tattered Rose music notes, just connecting the two areas. And I know I want to have the word delight, and I decided to go ahead and use these letters, this clear alpha, but if I were to put that directly onto the patterned cardstock, they would really get lost. So I am using some just simple white printer paper, and I'll choose one of the stickers from the kit. I love all of the musical elements that are included, so I'm going to add this little music staff and notes to connect delight, and then I'll choose the block alphas, these tile alphas, and I'm going to add the phrase in the Lord, delight in the Lord. And I love that I'm able to kind of follow the curve of that musical staff so that it's not so stark against the cream colored pages that are in this illuminated scripture journal. I'm using that Tattered Rose and blending a little bit over the top, and then I'll come back with a paper towel just to make sure that the ink isn't just sitting on top of those stickers. I could have done the shading before I put the stickers down, but I kind of wanted the staff to be white and the area around it to have that Tattered Rose feel. So just to knock it down just a little bit, and that will be sitting on the rainbow. I decide I want to set it off just a little bit. So again, I'll choose that paper pack. I'm telling you, I am loving the paper pack this month. I kind of go through phases. Some months I use it a bunch, and some months I go a different way. And this month, all of the colors just fit so well, and I just loved the patterns. It just really worked for me. So I'm matting it on that light blue just to set it off just a bit. And what I end up doing is roughing up the edges with my scissors just to provide a little bit more texture on the page. I just wanted it to look a little bit rougher, and I have it kind of coming off the page. I'll use my ATG glider, works super well with this thicker cardstock. I'll have it coming off the page and then just trimmed off right here, and it adds a little bit of movement that way. All right, I told you I was all about the string all the time, and here it is. I have some blue thread that I'm going to place behind the title right here that says Delight in the Lord, just to again bring in that texture to set it off a little bit more. These I wrapped a little bit tight, so you see me trying to make it look just a little bit messier, and I just stick them right under. They adhere really well with the ATG gun right there. So that side is going to be done, but I want to bring attention over to the side where the verse is, and there is that rainbow paper that I'm obsessed with. I love, love, love it. I need this in like 12 by 12 in every size. I love this paper. So I'm going to trim out one of these sweet little rainbows, and I will use that over on the left to kind of highlight where the verse is that I'm focused on. And I'll pull out my trusty thread, adding a little bit of texture and messiness over there behind that rainbow. Again, it sticks really well with this adhesive. This is just a strong adhesive, so I am loving it. So just a little embellishment over there to bring attention to where the verse is, and then I'll come through and underline the verse, and then I'm going to box out some of the words that we're really focused on in the devotional that give us instruction on how we can delight in the Lord, how we can show our delight in the Lord. So just wanted to box out a few of those. And that is it for this entry. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification button. As always, I will link all of the supplies down below. I look forward to reading your comments. I hope you have a fabulous day, and as always, keep it creative.